All right, welcome to the Hope Thinga podcast, where we discuss how to avoid scams and stay safe online today. I'm Brooke Warrington, the Training and Development Specialist here at the NLC, and with me is my co-host Ouista Atkins. She's the Training and Development Coordinator. We both work here at the Native Learning Center, and today on the show, we're excited to have Alvaro Puig. He is a Consumer Education Specialist in the Division of Consumer and Business Education with the FTC. Thank you so much for joining us today, Alvaro. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
All right, guys, if you don't mind, would you go ahead and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, Alvaro?
Yes, hi. My name is Alvaro Puig. I work at the Federal Trade Commission in our Division of Consumer and Business Education. So, primary focus of what I do is help people learn about their rights and avoid scams. I've been with the FTC for about 19 years now. It's been a great place to work, and we deal with a lot of issues that are really important to everybody's everyday lives, and it's really valuable work. So I'm glad to be a part of this agency, and I'm glad to join you guys here today.
Thank you so much for being here. Let's just go ahead and jump into today's conversation. What is the FTC and what does the FTC do?
The FTC is a federal agency. We're the nation's consumer protection agency, and we work to stop fraud and deception and bad business practices in the marketplace. We do that in a couple different ways. One is through law enforcement cases. We have investigators and attorneys that bring cases against companies that are breaking the law in a variety of ways. And then the role I play is education and outreach. So we reach out to consumers and to businesses to let consumers know about their rights and to let businesses know about their responsibilities and give them advice to help them comply with the laws. We also take fraud reports from consumers, and that's very valuable information for us, for our investigators. They use that to kind of see what's going on out there in the market. And oftentimes those reports that we get from people can kickstart an investigation.
Definitely sounds like very important work. So since we have an expert with us today, how do scammers contact people and what do they want when they reach out to you?
So scammers contact people pretty much in any way that people get contacted, right? So phone, they email people. You know, in the last several years, they've started texting because everyone's texting. You know, sometimes they're on social media sites and contacting people through those platforms as well. So really, they're using all the communications channels that you and I all use in our daily lives. They're very kind of strategic in that way. And typically they want one of two things. They either want your money, so to trick you to give you some reason, some lie to get you to believe that you actually owe them some money or have to pay for something. And the other thing they often want is your information. You know, maybe your account information, maybe your login information to those accounts, so that they can either take over your accounts and pretend to be you and open up new accounts in your name, or just, you know, if they get your credit card account or your bank account, they can buy things, they can take money out of your account. So they're trying to get either your money or your information.
It is an absolutely terrible feeling when you realize that you have been a victim of a scam or that you have lost money. How do you recognize a scam? How do you avoid this?
Yeah, so I mean, there a lot of the work that we do is to tell people about, you know, the latest iteration of the scam, which, you know, you can only keep up with the latest scams that are out there, but there's some common signs of a scam that we see. So we kind of try to get people to focus on these things because they don't change as much. So we often see that they pretend to be an organization or a company that you know. They'll use a brand name that most of us know. Sometimes they pretend to be the government, you know, or a fake charity that they make up. You know, sometimes they even say they're with the electric company or the water company. So the first thing is they pretend to be someone, you know, to try to build that trust. They usually say there's some sort of problem. You know, there's a charge on your account. You know, maybe they say it's a suspicious charge that seems unauthorized. They might say there's an issue with your account. Maybe your payment information is out of date or something like that. They might say that you're actually in trouble with the government for some reason, or that you owe the government money. They also make up what we call family emergency scams, where they say a loved one is in jail or was in an accident or in some sort of emergency, and they need money. Or sometimes they go with the good old fashioned, there's a virus on your computer and you need to pay us to help remove that. So they pretend to be someone they're not. They say there's a problem. The next sort of sign is that they pressure you. They say if you don't pay or give them the information that they're asking for, maybe your account is going to be locked. Maybe you'll be arrested or taken to court. If they're pretending to be the utility company, they might say that your water will be shut off or your electricity will be shut off. And if they're pretending to be a tech support representative, they'll say that your computer is going to be infected and corrupted, and all sorts of bad things are going to happen. And then sort of the
sounds
fourth.
Like they definitely play on vulnerabilities that we have, by bringing up family, some kind of an emergency, and kind of altering your emotional state, making you more susceptible. So is there a way that we could block like them being able to contact us, like block unwanted calls, block unwanted texts, things like that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All these things are trying to get you into an emotional state and sort of stop thinking rationally and reacting emotionally. So that's absolutely a key. Yeah, so as far as blocking phone calls, most phones these days have a way to just, when you get the call, to block it, especially if it's not someone that's in your contact lists. Some wireless providers will include a call blocking feature through your service, so that's an option to look at. And the third thing would be to look at a call blocking app, which is something that you would install in your smartphone, and then that'll identify these unwanted calls and block them from coming into your phone. As far as text messages, there's similar things you can do. You can block them directly on your phone. Also look for some of the signs that we talked about, right? So like I got one recently about a shipment that didn't sound familiar, and so I just ignored it. So look for those signs that they pretend to be someone that you might know, and then they're asking you to do something.
Is there any way that we can protect our devices, like our phones and computers?
Yeah, so if you have a smartphone, it's really important to run those updates that pop up periodically. You run them as soon as you see them. Oftentimes, those updates actually are adding security protections to your phone. That's often the motive for them getting pushed out. You can set those updates to happen automatically so that you don't have to trigger them. That's what I've done. It works great. And then if you have apps, check those for updates as well, because as things get out of date, then they become vulnerable, and that's what hackers try to exploit, right? That dated security. And so running those updates is really important. And similar with your computer, those updates are really important. If you have security software, run those updates. Again, if your software gets out of date, then your computer might be susceptible, and that's what hackers are looking to exploit. So update your security software, update your internet browser. If you have any apps that you use on your computer, update those as well.
How about my online accounts?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's, we mentioned one of the things that scammers ask for, in addition to your money, is access to your accounts and your account information. So first thing would be to, recognize when someone, you get a call or contact out of the blue and they're asking you for that account information. We tell people to stop, don't engage with them. If they've given you a text or an email with links, don't click on those. If you think it might be legit, then go to a website is legit, and look into it that way. But don't use the information that they give you. So that's sort of, recognizing the scam and sort of disengaging. But there's some proactive things you can do to protect your accounts. The most important one is to have a strong password. And when we talk about passwords, longer is stronger. So make it as long as you can. Make it, have a variety of characters, uppercase, lowercase, special characters. The latest advice that we're seeing is to come up with the phrase and use those words, because then it's a longer password that you're going to be able to remember. So make it long to make it strong. Second thing is don't reuse them, right? Because if your account is breached, what happens is that these hackers then sell the information on the black market. And if you've used the same password on a different account, well, now they can get into more than just one of your accounts. So definitely don't reuse the passwords. I know these passwords can be a pain, and they auto update, and you got to come up with a new one. But and there are tools you can use, to come up with new ones. They're password managers, but don't reuse them.
Oh, I gotta make some changes.
Same. That really got me thinking. I've got like about 5 passwords that I circle through.
Yeah.
So what do we do if a scammer does contact us because we're reusing the same passwords?
Right. Yeah. So it's looking for those signs, and it's sort of the unexpected contact, right? So that's kind of like the thing that might make you be like, this doesn't feel right. But it's basically don't engage. Don't give them any information. If they give you a phone number and say call back to follow up on this, don't use that phone number. Don't click on a link. And if you think it might be legit, investigate it through channels that are legit. Go to your account. Separate from the message that they gave you, go to your account and log in and look into things that way. If you're pretty sure it's a scam, you can report it to the Federal Trade Commission, and we use that information to identify trends and see what's happening out there.
And all those links will be below.
Where could I learn more about avoiding scams?
The best place to go where we send people is our website. You can get there by going to ftc.gov/scams. So that is our scam alerts page. Anything that has to do with the scam, we'll post it there. You can also sign up for free email updates from that page. And then if folks want any information in print, we also distribute free printed resources at bulkorder.ftc.gov. And if folks are looking for information for older adults to help them avoid common scams, we have a site that is ftc.gov/passiton. So you can check that out as well.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers today, or any advice you would like to give to our viewers today?
The key things, like I said, the scammers, they're super creative, right? Like they should write like movies, because they come up with so many schemes and stories, and those are constantly changing. But the signs of the scams tend to stay consistent. So it's like they're pretending to be someone. They're pressuring you to do something right away. They're telling you to pay in a specific way. Often they'll say, do a bank transfer or pay me with cryptocurrency or gift cards. Don't do that. That's a scammer. So that's kind of what we try to focus on is recognizing those scams and sort of disengage, pause, and give yourself a chance to think about those things. Sometimes it helps to talk to someone about it and be like, hey, I got this call. This is what they said. And the other person might be like, oh yeah, that sounds so weird. I would not follow up with them. So sort of stop, talk to someone about it, but don't engage.
Yeah, scammers do not want you talking to people. It's their number one strategy. Yep. So be alert. If you see something, report it. Don't forget to report to the FTC. They do have a very large database, very specific, and you can actually look into their database as well and really dig deeper to actually your zip code to figure out what scams are around you. Please don't forget to visit the FTC's website. That brings our episode to an end. Thank you so much, Alvaro, for joining us today. As always, thanks for listening to the Hope a Thing, a Native American podcast. If you enjoy our show, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Also, visit our website, www.nativelearningcenter.com, to find information on upcoming webinars and virtual trainings. And don't forget, you can watch our recorded webinars on our website as well. Be sure to come back for more content.